Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a world where a tiny device in your ear translates every language on earth in real time. You're in Tokyo and you understand the street vendors. You're in Paris and the poetry makes sense. You're in a boardroom in New York and you don't need a translator. That world isn't science fiction anymore. It's arriving. It's sitting in your pocket, inside your phone. And so, the question arises. A question that might be keeping you up at night if you spend years or even decades studying the English language. Is this the end of the road? If a machine can speak for me, why should I spend another hour memorizing phrasal verbs? Why should I care about the rhythm of a sentence if an algorithm can polish my thoughts into perfect, sterile prose? Welcome to ListenFlow. I'm your host, Andres, and today we're gonna talk about the surprising truth. Because, contrary to what the headlines tell you, the AI age isn't making English obsolete. It is making your mastery of it more valuable than it has ever been in human history. Let's start with a hard truth. If your goal in learning English was simply to be understood, to ask where the bathroom is, or to order the coffee, then yes, AI has won. It is faster, cheaper, and more efficient at basic utility than a human brain will ever be. But there is a massive difference between communication and connection. Think about a GPS. A GPS can tell you exactly how to get from point A to point B. It is efficient, it is accurate, but a GPS cannot tell you why the journey is worth taking. It cannot feel the texture of the road or the beauty of the landscape. When you use AI to translate your thoughts, you are using a digital middleman. You're handing over your intent to a machine and asking it to guess what you mean. In the AI age, the world is going to be flooded with perfect English. We're about to see 1 billion emails, 1 billion articles, and 1 billion scripts all written with the same flawless robotic syntax. Do you know what that creates? Frictionless noise. When perfection becomes a commodity, it loses its value. When everyone sounds perfect, the person who sounds human becomes the most powerful person in the room. We need to stop looking at English as a subject you study in school. In the age of large language models, the GPTs, the Claudes, the Geminis, English has undergone a transformation. It has become the world's most powerful programming language. In the past, if you wanted to talk to a machine, you had to learn Python, C++, or Java. You had to learn the logic of the computer. Today, the computer has learned the logic of us. If you want to build a business, create an app, or design a marketing campaign using AI, your only tool is your articulation, your ability to describe a vision, to nuance a prompt, and to steer a machine toward a specific outcome. If your English is vague, the AI's output will be vague. If your English is textbook, the AI's output will be textbook. But if you understand the flow of the language, the subtle difference between commanding and suggesting, the weight of a specific metaphor, the cultural resonance of a certain phrase, you become an architect of ideas. You aren't just a learner anymore, you are a director. The AI is your orchestra. But you are the conductor, and you cannot conduct an orchestra if you don't speak the language of music. Most English learners hit what we call the intermediate plateau. You know enough to survive, you can get your point across, and many people think, with AI this is good enough. I'll just use a grammar checker for the rest. This is a dangerous trap. In the coming years, the gap between the intermediate and the articulate is going to widen into a canyon. Think about it. If anyone can generate a good report with a button click, what makes your report stand out? It's the human edge. It's the ability to step away from the machine and speak to a client with a rhythm that builds trust. It's the ability to listen to a negotiation and hear the silence between the words. The things the AI can't translate because they weren't said aloud. This is why we call this channel ListenFlow. We aren't here to teach you how to pass a test. We are here to teach you how to inhabit the language. Because in a world run by silicon, the most valuable currency is human resonance. Let's look at the world through a new lens. Imagine you are a photographer. You have the most expensive camera in the world, an AI that can capture any image, any light, any moment. But there's a catch. The camera has no viewfinder. You cannot see what you're shooting. You can only tell the camera what to capture using words. If you say, take a picture of a cat, the camera will give you a cat. It's a perfect high-resolution cat. But is it your cat? Is it the cat you imagined? Now, imagine you have a mastery of the English language. You don't just say cat. You say, a sleek charcoal gray Russian blue sitting on a velvet mahogany chair, bathed in the golden dusty light of a late Tuesday afternoon. Suddenly, the machine isn't just guessing, it is executing your vision with surgical precision. In the AI age, English is no longer just a way to get by. It is your resolution. The broader your vocabulary, the higher the resolution of your reality. If you only know 500 words, you're living in a low-resolution world. You are limited to the generic, the average, and the good enough. But when you master the nuances, the difference between serene and silent, between efficient and elegant, you gain a level of control over technology that the average person simply cannot comprehend. You aren't just using AI, you are authoring with it. We often hear that AI can fix your grammar, and it's true, it can turn a broken sentence into a polished one. But AI cannot fix your intent. There is a nuance gap that exists between what we think and what we say. For most English learners, this gap is a source of frustration. You have a brilliant idea in your native language, but when it travels through the English filter of your brain, it comes out simplified, diminished. Many people think AI will close that gap for them. They think, I'll just give the AI a rough idea and it will make it brilliant. But here's the secret. AI is a mirror, not a mind. If you give a large language model a rough idea, it will give you a statistically probable response. It will give you the most common, most boring version of that idea. It will give you a cliché. To break the cliché, you need to know how to nudge the machine. You need to know how to use the connective tissue in your language. You need to understand how a specific adjective can change the entire emotional weight of a paragraph. This is why here at ListenFlow, we focus on the rhythm and the feel of the language. Because in the AI age, the rules of grammar are being handled by the machines, but the soul of the communication, the flow, is still entirely human. If you can't feel the difference between a sentence that flows like a river and one that hits like a hammer, you will never be able to direct the AI to create something truly great. Think back to the invention of the printing press. Before the press, literacy was a luxury for the elite. Afterward, it became a necessity for the masses. We are at a similar printing press moment, except this time the literacy isn't just reading and writing, it is the new English. It is a blend of linguistic mastery and logical structure. When you study English today, you're studying the global operating system. The most advanced AI models are trained primarily on English data. The most groundbreaking research is published in English. The code that built the future is written in English. If you step away from English now because AI can do it, you are effectively stepping away from the driver's seat of the future. You are choosing to be a passenger in a car driven by an algorithm. But if you lean in, if you listen to the way a native speaker builds an argument or how a storyteller creates suspense, you're learning the mechanics of influence. Mastering English in 2026 isn't about fitting in, it's about standing out. It's about being the person who can look at 1,000 AI-generated options and say, none of these are right. This word here, it lacks the gravitas we need. Let's change the cadence of this opening. Let's make it breathe. There is a term in psychology called presence. It's that feeling you get when you're talking to someone who is truly there. AI has intelligence, but it does not have presence. It doesn't have a heartbeat. It doesn't have a childhood. It hasn't had its heart broken, and it hasn't felt the sting of failure. Your English, even if it isn't perfect like mine, carries your human presence. When you speak, your pauses, your tone, and your choices of metaphors tell the world who you are. This is the one thing the machine can never steal from you. In fact, as the world becomes more automated, your human voice becomes a premium luxury. People will pay more to talk to a human. They will trust a human voice over a synthetic one. They will follow a human leader who can articulate a vision with passion and flow. So don't let the technology make you lazy. Let it make you ambitious. Use the AI to check your spelling, sure. Use it to brainstorm, but never let it be your voice. Your voice is your identity, and your identity is worth the work. So, if the goal isn't just survival English anymore, if the goal is to become an architect of ideas, how do we actually learn in this new world? The old way was to build scarcity. You had to go to a classroom to find a teacher. You had to buy a heavy book to find information. But today, we live in a world of abundance. You have every word ever written at your fingertips. Your problem isn't finding English. Your problem is filtering it. The new way to learn, the ListenFlow way, is built on 3 pillars. First, stop studying, start inhabiting. In the AI age, you don't need to memorize a list of irregular verbs. You need to hear them in context until they feel right. You need to flood your ears with the rhythm of the language. When you listen to a native speaker, don't just listen for the facts. Listen for the texture. Where do they speed up? Where do they pause? That flow is the music of the mind, and your brain is designed to mimic it. Second, use AI as a sparring partner, not a crutch. Don't ask AI to write for you. Ask AI to critique you. Give it your thoughts and say, tell me why this sounds robotic. Show me how to make this more persuasive. Explain the difference in vibe between these two synonyms. Use the technology to sharpen your own blade, rather than letting it fight the battle for you. Third, focus on high-value English. Focus on the language of empathy, the language of leadership, and the language of logic. These are the areas where AI is weak and humans are strong. Learn how to tell a story. Learn how to apologize sincerely. Learn how to disagree with grace. These are the power moves of the 21st century. At the beginning of this journey, we asked, will AI make English obsolete? And here's the surprising truth. AI is actually saving the English language. For the last 50 years, English has been treated like a cold global utility. We stripped it down to its bare bones so we could conduct business. We'd made it globalish, flat, dry, and functional. But now that the machines can handle the functional part, we are being forced to return to the art of English. We are being invited back to the beauty of the metaphor, the power of the narrative, and the intimacy of the spoken word. AI is taking the work out of the language so that we can find the wonder again. The people who will thrive in the next decade aren't the ones who can speak the most correct English. They are the ones who can speak the most compelling English. They are the ones who can bridge the gap between a silicon chip and a human heart. This channel, ListenFlow, isn't just about learning a language. It's about finding your place in a changing world. It's about quieting the noise of the algorithms so you can hear the signal of your own voice. Learning English is no longer a task on your to-do list. It is an investment in your humanity. It is the way you tell the future that you are still here and that you have something to say that no machine could ever dream of. So don't be afraid of the technology. Don't be intimidated by the speed of change. Take a deep breath, lean into the rhythm. Because the future doesn't belong to the machines. The future belongs to those who can talk to them, and more importantly, to those who still know how to talk to each other. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of the flow. I'm Andres and this is ListenFlow. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video. We're gonna keep creating more videos like this for you to listen. And see you on the next one, guys.